Hey everyone, this is my video synopsis for chapters 8 and 9. So first, chapter 8 discusses research and how to gather and use that information in your speech. There are many different sources of information, such as the internet. You can use social media, newspapers, books, encyclopedias, interviews with different people, or your personal experiences. One tip for research is that for every 10 minutes that you are speaking, you should do research for 10 hours. So basically, 1 minute of speaking is 1 hour of research. Now, when you add up all the information, or all the time rather, that you spend in the library, looking up books, reading books, looking up sources on the internet, preparing an outline, preparing the draft of your speech, preparing how to speak, how you would present the speech to other people. I'm sure that it'll be more than 10 hours for each 10 minutes, perhaps much more. Some people take longer to do research than others. Some people take very little and they do a really good job. So the longer that you procrastinate doing that research, the harder it will be to develop a coherent and well-developed speech, and your grade would therefore suffer in this class. When doing research, you should always make sure that your sources are credible. Don't just use a website that was uploaded by the average Joe who has no idea what he's talking about. Make sure that you use websites with addresses such as .edu or .gov. You can sometimes use .org, but sometimes the sources can be somewhat not reliable. It just depends on what you're researching. Don't use websites that end in .com. Those can be uploaded by anyone, and things like Wikipedia, not anyone can edit information on Wikipedia, so it's not that reliable. It may seem like the best thing ever, but really, it's not. You should always have a clear purpose when when starting your research. Don't just focus on the broad subjects. Try to narrow it down. That way you can have more information to talk about a specific topic, rather than just giving your audience just basic information. If you get more specific, your audience will be more interested in what you're talking about. Begin your research early, write lots of drafts, spend a lot more time on something. If you put a lot of time into what you're talking about, you'll have a very good time with the speech. Also, maintain a bibliography of your sources. One tip that I have that's helped me in the past is create a reference page on Microsoft Word of every single source that you research, no matter if you plan on using it or not. That way, when it comes time to create the actual reference page for your final draft, you can simply copy and paste the information, as long as you put it in the right format. APA, MLA, Chicago, whatever. You can just simply copy and paste the information. That way, the night before your speech is due and you're trying to look up all the formats for your sources, you're not spending an hour writing the reference page rather than copying and pasting that information. Chapter 9 then talks about organizing and outlining your speech. Make sure you organize by main points. Have specific and concrete main points. Don't just talk about broad subjects. Also try to create a relevance for your audience. If your audience can relate to your information, they will be more likely to ask questions about specific information. How does this relate to me in my life? If you're presenting an informative essay on laws, something, try to think of specifics of how that law would affect your audience. Research your audience beforehand, basically. Also, make sure to include an introduction and a conclusion. The introduction should set a pathway for your speech. The conclusion should wrap up your speech and reiterate your main points, and try to end with a memorable thought at the end of your speech, something that your audience can leave with, so that they're not just going back to their day-to-day. They can take your speech with them and help them in their personal lives. So that is my video synopsis for chapters 8 and 9. I hope everyone watching this has a wonderful day, and thank you.